Welcome to Adapt Action, and thank you for participating in our stakeholder engagement. The Adapt Action tool is intended to help Alberta municipalities become more aware of climate change implications for their community, more aware of effective adaptation strategies, and better able to participate in climate change adaptation planning. The Adapt Action tool allows a user to explore climate change adaptation issues of critical concern, gather information that supports addressing those issues, and generate a customized report for their community. This tool is being developed as part of the Biodiversity Management and Climate Change Adaptation Project, which is led by the Alberta Biodiversity Monitoring Institute and funded by the Climate Change Emissions Management Corporation. Your responses will help Mistacus design a tool which best meets the needs of Alberta municipalities seeking to adapt to a changing climate regime. The Adapt Action tool will be publicly available in January 2015. We will be taking you through 3 different sections followed by a question and answer period. The survey will take you approximately 30 minutes. Here we have a mock-up of the gateway into Adapt Action. The approach we have taken to promote learnings about climate change adaptation is to present a series of narratives or storylines. Each narrative is focused on addressing a key municipal concern of a changing climate. For example, adapting to floods, or adapting to water scarcity, or adapting to biodiversity loss. For each narrative, information is provided on the implications associated with the concern, the causal environmental changes, and potential strategies. Today, we will be walking through a mock-up of adapting to water scarcity as an example. But before we do that, let's talk briefly about the sidebar. Here, we have additional resources to provide context for Adapt Action. I want to draw your attention to the resilience-based approach link. A resilience-based approach is built on the notion that a healthy functioning ecosystem is more resilient or has greater flexibility, and therefore able to adapt to ecosystem stresses such as climate change. This approach has many perceived benefits, such as the development of strategies that are considered no regret as they achieve multiple policy outcomes. For example, implementing a program to support farmers restoring wetlands improves an ecosystem's resilience to drought and flooding, both predicted impacts of climate change, but it also increases carbon storage, supports biodiversity, and increases water supply and quality.
Once you select a narrative, you're taken to a second page where you have 3 options for entering the tool. In this case, we chose adapting to water scarcity as the narrative. The user can navigate the tool to learn about environmental changes and effects. So how do we know this is an issue? Implications. How is this an issue for my community? And strategies. What strategies can your municipality use? For today's purposes, let's select environmental changes first. The Environmental Changes Effects page provides a user with an overview of the climate variables and resulting environmental changes that will impact water quantity in the region. On the sidebar, context information is provided on the causes of climate change. A series of clickable climate variables are displayed along the bottom, which takes you to more detailed information on that particular variable. These maps depict the Climate Moisture Index, which illustrates the relationships between plant water demand and available precipitation. It is a combination of precipitation and evapotranspiration. Although overall precipitation is projected to increase or remain consistent, most climate models predict that Alberta will become substantially drier in coming decades. The main reason for this decline is that warmer temperatures increase the rate of evapotranspiration from vegetation and soils. In addition, although total precipitation is projected to increase, precipitation during midsummer, when moisture stress is greatest, is expected to decline. The larger map on the right depicts historic and future predictions of the Climate Moisture Index for the Grassland Natural Region. You can use the slider bar to move from historic conditions to the predicted 2050 condition. This map helps us understand that there will be a general trend towards drier soils in the coming decade. In the top corner, Climate Moisture Index is presented in a different way. Here, the map depicts a departure from current conditions based on 2050 predictions. It enables you to see which areas will experience more drying from our current condition. The darker the red, the more change is predicted to occur. Once you have an understanding of the environmental changes expected due to climate change, specifically those that are contributing to predicted water scarcity, you can learn more about the implications of these changes by selecting the implications or how this is an issue for your community button. From the environmental change section, we learn that climate change will cause the prairies to get hotter, resulting in changes to the hydrological cycle. Overall, there will be less moisture in the soils, water availability will be more inconsistent, and water storage will become more important and difficult. These environmental changes have the potential to amplify the conditions that lead to drought, and an increased frequency of drier years is expected. Reoccurring water deficits or drought has implications for the economy, environment, and culture of the prairie communities. Water scarcity will have implications on numerous sectors, including agriculture, recreation, health, infrastructure, and biodiversity. Again, you can click on each button to learn more. Let's select agriculture for this example. Here we provide a summary overview of the impacts to agriculture. The circles represent the number of different impacts relevant to agriculture that have the potential to be impacted by climate change. Let's select decreased crop yield for this example. The crop yield page will provide the user with a better understanding of the issue. What is causing this concern from an environmental change perspective, and what are the strategies municipalities can undertake to best adapt to the changing conditions? This page will feature links back to the environmental changes or effects seen earlier in this presentation, and also to strategies described in later sections of this presentation. Here we highlight an example of the content for the crop yield page. Please take the time to read this content, and then we will be asking you some questions. Now that you have an understanding of the environmental changes expected due to a change in climate and the implications of those changes, you can learn more about the strategies to help a municipality address water scarcity concerns by clicking on the Strategy button. Water scarcity concerns increase the importance of a rural municipality working to protect existing water resources, conserve water, and improve water storage opportunities. Here are some aspiring goals for adapting to water scarcity. Climate-proof municipal plans for water scarcity, promote low-water agriculture, improve water retention capabilities, promote water conservation, and understand stressors on the hydrological system. Each of these buttons leads the user to more information on how to help a rural municipality adapt to water scarcity. Before we move on, let's check out the sidebar. Here, you can review relevant case studies, applicable municipal policies, or learn about climate change adaptation resources that are available to you. Let's move on by clicking the Promote Low Water Agriculture button. Here we list a number of strategies that promote low water agriculture. We ask you to review these strategies, and then we'll be asking you some questions. One of the capabilities of the Adapt Action tool is it enables the user to create a summary report of their journey through the tool. A user can select the environmental changes, implications, strategies, and resources that are relevant to their municipality.